Welcome to Inside Killeen, brought to you by KDH News. I am your host, Kevin Limiti, and today we're going to be talking about cold cases. The city of Killeen has many cold cases, though the exact number is unclear. Specifically, we're going to be talking about a case from 1990, which was recently brought to our attention at a Killeen Police Department town hall in May 2025. Deanna Merryfield was reported missing July 22nd, 1990, according to the website findingdeanna.com. Her case was initially filed as a runaway. However, she did not leave a note, she did not tell anyone she was running away, and did not take any personal items with her. The website goes on to say that there was little to no investigation, no media attention, and no search conducted by either law enforcement or her mother and stepfather. Melissa Twardowski, Deanna's sister, who runs the Finding Deanna website, attended the KPD meeting and asked about the case to Killeen detectives. They told her that they intended to start a cold case unit. Inside Killeen spoke with Twardowski in a Zoom meeting.
So my name is Melissa, and I'm here with my husband Luke, and I am the younger sister of Deanna Merryfield.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, and can you tell me what the situation was like that day and what you can remember?
Okay, so on July 21st of 1990, Deanna was up late watching movies with our grandmother. Our grandma went to bed at about 1:30 in the morning, and Deanna snuck out of the house sometime after that. Our grandmother's house was on Alamo Street in Killeen, and Deanna snuck out of the house and showed up at our uncle's house where her fraternal twin sister was staying on Dimple Street at about 3:30 in the morning. Her fraternal twin sister has said that she knocked on the window. They talked for a very short amount of time, and then our uncle came out and told Deanna to get home. And they have said that Deanna left in a two-door brown or bronze car with two men described as white or Hispanic.
And that was the last time Deanna was seen.
That's right. So our grandmother woke up the next morning and she was going to let Deanna sleep in for a little while. But at about 11, she went in to wake up Deanna, and Deanna was not there. So our grandmother called our mom to make sure she hadn't heard from her and then reported Deanna missing with the Killeen Police Department on July 22nd.
Okay, and I did see you at the KPD town hall speaking about
Yeah.
that. I was just wondering, was there some kind of hope you had when you went to that town hall that maybe you wanted to share with people or share with the current Killeen Police Department?
So basically, my hope right now is for the Killeen Police Department to prioritize Deanna's case and other missing persons cases. It's next month will be 35 years that Deanna has been missing, and I don't feel like there has ever been a full investigation with Deanna for Deanna. And I just feel like that's something that it needs to be done. I feel like if there was a full investigation, that her case could be solved.
Hmm. Why do you think there was no full investigation?
I can't really speak on behalf of the Killeen Police Department. I think originally, Deanna's case, they assumed she was a runaway and treated her as such. And unfortunately, people don't look for runaways. The fact of the matter is, if a child is missing, they need to be found, regardless of how that child went missing.
Mm. How old was Deanna at the time she went missing?
She was 13 years old.
Mm. Do you feel like you've been able to kind of move on with your life since that happened, or like is it just something that kind of always lingers like in the back of your mind whenever you're doing like ordinary things?
I feel like it always lingers. We've had deaths in the family, and when there is a death and, some sort of memorial or burial, you can there's a little bit of closure. You know that person's gone. You know how they passed away most of the time, and you know that they're not coming back. When it's a missing person, you don't know any of those things. Even if you're confident they're not coming back, you still need closure. So I've moved on with my life. I was 11 when she went missing. And obviously, I've grown up and, got married and had a family. But it is always a question in my mind is where is Deanna?
Hmm.
I feel like there have been things that have been eliminated pretty easily. Um, but as far as, any sort of strong leads or anything, there's only so much I can do as a civilian. We really need the tools and the ability that the police department has
And the
Hmm.
support.
and the support.
Hmm. And has anybody from KPD ever been in touch with you recently? I mean, what about after that town hall? Did anybody like kind of talk to you guys or anything?
So I was in communication with the detective before the town hall. We were communicating often. I felt like the case was really gaining momentum. Unfortunately, since the town hall, communication has stopped.
Huh, that's interesting. I'm gonna shift gears a little bit here, but I just wanted to ask
Mhm.
you, like, if you could maybe tell me, like, for people that didn't know her, what was Deanna? How was Deanna like as a person, you know?
Yeah. Deanna was one of four girls. It was our oldest sister, Deanna, and her twin, and then me. And Deanna was a very girly girl when we were young. She enjoyed watching She-Ra, Princess of Power, enjoyed riding her bike, was very outgoing and very intelligent. She was in the gifted program. As we got older and our stepfather was introduced to our lives, her grades kind of reflected the abuse that was going on. And she became more introvert, and started, hanging out with different people and not hanging out with her normal friends, kind of rebellious.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You know, and this is also a little bit of like a offbeat question,
Hmm.
but you grew up in Killeen like
Hmm.
during that time, like can you tell me how like it was different from the Killeen of today? Like
It
how it
was much
changed?
smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It was much smaller. And, we were considered local, and the locals kind of stuck together. And, and at that time, growing up, we felt like we were safe. Even though Colleen had its problems, we were able to, kind of run the streets and stay outside until the lights came on. And so I think yeah, it was much smaller and a lot more people knew each other. It had more of a small town feel.
You said that Deanna liked to listen to hard rock. What type of hard rock did you like to listen to?
So she loved Bon Jovi, Poison, Whitesnake, Ozzy Osbourne,
Hmm.
Joan Jett, all of. All
Okay.
of the stuff that was basically, if it was a hairband, she liked
All
it.
right. So like the hair bands. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Hmm.
okay. Um, and is there anything more that you see yourself doing in terms of trying to research or trying to uh, advocate for this
Yeah.
case?
So yes, right now we're just, trying to get awareness with the local community. So we are going to next month, marks 35 years since she's been missing. So on July 26th, at 6:30 p.m., we are going to have a candlelight vigil at Lions Park Pavilion. And we're hoping that the community comes out and, if any other families, I know there are other missing people in the Killeen area. I would love to connect with those families too.
Okay, great. Um, that's basically all the questions I have. However, do you have anything you'd like to say that I didn't maybe ask?
Partnering with the Killeen Police Department is really, really important to helping get some resolution. There's
Yeah, move,
roadblocks and things like that
yeah,
along
move
the
the
way.
case forward. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is important. It is even though it's been 35 years, it's we still need to know. And there's not just, our family who's affected by things like this, but there's others as well. And so the Killeen Police Department doesn't have like a cold case organization, things like
Unit.
that.
Yeah.
So maybe there's things that, if there's any kind of good that could come out of it is kind of maybe evaluating structures and things like that to, make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else. It's not 35 years later where there's a
Hmm.
family trying to find out what happened.
Yeah, it did sound like to me when I spoke to the Killeen police chief that they were at least considering opening a cold case unit.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
so would you consider that to be like a significant step forward?
I think it would definitely, because like I said, Deanna's not the only person who is missing from the Killeen area. And I know there are unsolved murders there also. Um, and so I think it would definitely be a positive step for the community as a whole, um, to go ahead and find answers, not just for the families, but also so that maybe we can get some of these people who have, harm in their mind off of the streets.
Inside Killeen spoke to Ronnie Supak, the commander of the Criminal Investigations Division for the Killeen Police Department.
Well, first off, let me start by saying currently we're conducting a work analysis or review in CID to better, help determine the number of detectives that we need in each unit based on the workload that's incoming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Staffing by year end is looking better. We have two academy cadet classes going on. And at the end of the year, staffing at the department could facilitate our plans for the formation of the cold case unit. Initially, and like I said, we're looking at year end and then talks the first quarter about assigning a detective or two to specifically, and that's their whole job purpose, to specifically go back, review, and analyze the cold cases to see if anything was missed or if some new information comes up on one of the cold cases that they could, be the ones to basically occupy their whole time working on those cases. Because right now, I got a handful of guys, and they're working everything that's coming in, all the new cases that are being assigned.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not to say that we are not, there are a few cold cases that we have assigned some of the homicide detectives um, to work basically in between the others, what they can as far as reviewing those. So some work is being done, but what we would like to do is have a detective or two full time go back looking at cold cases, and we're looking at hopefully initiating that at the start of the new year. when
Okay.
staffing trials.
Well, that sounds great. And when you say that they're going to be looking at them, are they going to be looking at like them one case at a time, or are they going to just kind of take like the whole breadth of what? Because I know there's probably a lot. So
There are, and they will go. We're going to have to divide it up, and they'll go one case at a time, and they'll look at it, review what all of the other detectives have done, see if anything was left out, see if there was anybody that needed to be talked to. Maybe there's a piece of evidence that wasn't sent to the lab that needs to go to the lab. Just things like that. Basically, a good solid review of each one of those cold cases, which obviously will take some time, because even if I have a detective or two, that, like you said earlier, it's going to take some time to go through those.
right. I mean,
Especially whenever you're doing it with a fine-tooth comb, so to speak.
Right. And how many cold cases do you think that there are in the city of Killeen? Just if you can guess. Or...
You're asking me a question off the top of my head that I can't give you, sir.
Yeah. This has been Kevin Limiti with Inside Killeen. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed yourself. Thank you.